Hey friends, good morning. I'm really excited to be spending the day with you out here in the garden. I have some things that I need to get done for work. We're going to be making a custom arrangement with some Lisianthus from my girlfriend's farm, and then we're going to be filling out that bouquet with shrub foliage, shrub flowers, and perennial flowers. I've been talking a lot about really wanting to go in the perennial cut flower direction for a few years now, and so what I'm really trying to nail down this year is there a time of the year where I'm missing perennial cuts? So we're going to find out if we have enough perennial cuts to get me through early August today. We also need to cut 4 buckets of Limelight Hydrangeas for this order. So the order is a custom purple arrangement, purple, green, and white. And she sent me an inspiration picture that we're going to be kind of copying in a way, the 4 buckets of limelights. But what I have to tell you first is that we had this crazy event happen this morning. So I woke up, I was drinking my coffee on the couch, and all of a sudden these 3 peacocks around the corner, they try to get back into the garden through the gate by the hydrangea room. Then they came over here to the main flower walk and tried to get in. Luckily the gates were closed so they couldn't come back here, but Grace was freaking out the entire time. I think they stayed over here almost a half hour until they finally crossed the road and went over into our neighbor's yard. So I don't know anything about peacocks. I mean, they were beautiful. I don't know if I should have let them into the garden. I don't know if they're destructive or friendly or mean or aggressive. I don't know. Rocky also bolted out from under the truck as soon as they arrived, but it was kind of a fun and interesting way to start the day. And I did get a little bit of footage for you. But without further ado, let's get to work. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to make sure to show you what I'm still growing for flowers that are going to bloom this year. So let's get to work. Well, friends, it feels so wonderful to be back in the garden with you, cutting flowers again. I have fulfilled my obligation for the magazine contract, and so from now on we can cut and set up the flower stand together. We can do these custom arrangements and I don't have to hide them from you. It's been kind of weird, if I'm honest, to be doing so much behind the scenes work and not including you, so I'm really glad that things are back to normal now. Before we head inside and take a look at the flowers, because they're just taking a breather inside by the air conditioner, let me show you kind of what my situation is. I don't have any focal flowers this week. I did last week when I sold all dahlias at the stand. And what's also been happening with the dahlias, aside from them just lulling from all being cut, is that it's been so hot, it's been 100 degrees or at least in the high 90s, that they kind of all stopped blooming, or if they would bloom, they would immediately expose their pollen center. So, you know, you'd have something like David Howard and it would bloom and almost look like a single open-faced dahlia or like a double open-faced dahlia instead of that really beautiful full dahlia that we all know and love. Like, here's another example. This is actually, can you see this? I have a different setting on my phone right now. This is Bacardi, and you can see the pollen center Here's a look at how the hyacinth bean vine is doing. It started to bloom just a few days ago, and isn't it magical? I am having kind of a hard time getting it to connect to the library windows to create that tunnel that I want, but I think I just need the pieces to get a little bit longer and stronger before I can go ahead and do that. So thankfully, it looks like things are going to cool down and stay cool. I'm seeing temperatures more in the 80s now, so the dahlias should start to bloom and look the way that they're supposed to. The other thing is, when they expose their pollen centers like that, I really can't sell them at the stand. But the nice thing is that it gave me a chance to catch up on all of my seeding for fall flowers. So if you remember the bed of Pro-Cut Plum sunflowers that we had, I cut those down at ground level and just direct seeded Pro-Cut Plum sunflowers there, a whole raised bed. And then I did 2 more flats of Pro-Cut Plum, which we're going to plant in that open area near the raised bed, and 1 flat of Benary Giant orange zinnias. So that's what I have going in terms of cuts for fall. And then next week I'll be doing all of my cool flower transplants. So Sweet William, snapdragons, things that take a long time, things that I want to go ahead and start inside to plant out approximately 6 weeks before the first frost. So here's the sunflower flats. You can see they've come up almost a day after I seeded them. No, maybe 2 days. I think I seeded them during the storm. So they're pretty much all up, and pretty much all the zinnias are up too. And one of you sent me these seeds, so thank you so much. I kept them for a few years, and now we're going to use them together. Now I picked up 2 bunches of eucalyptus and Lisianthus from my girlfriend's farm. And here's what we picked from the garden today. We have that gorgeous Agastaki. I'm going to try to stick in a purple, green, and white color palette. Then here's what the Vitex looks like. So this is after it blooms. When it blooms, it's purple like that. Then this is the seed head. And what I like to do is remove almost all of the foliage, because it seems to me that the foliage is extremely hard to hydrate. We have some of that Let's Dance Rave Hydrangea, Seashell Mixed Straw Flower, Serendipity Allium, Nicotiana, and Sedum. You know, I was listening to this podcast the other day from Mel Robbins, and she was talking about the importance of having fresh flowers in your home and how that really contributes to just being happy on a daily basis. So I'm going to link that podcast for you in the description section below. But for now, let's get to work on this custom arrangement. And if you're wondering where Grace is today, she is searching out the sunshine. Hey Grace, you ready to make some flower arrangements? We got some custom orders today. I'd rather be at the park, Mom. Please, can we go to the park? Soon, Gracie, soon. So friends, here's our last look before we head out for delivery. I love how this arrangement turned out, and I'm so thrilled that we were able to use basically all shrubs and all perennials found in the garden. I think the only annual that we stuck in was some straw flower. And isn't the Let's Dance Rave beautiful? Here it is when it's just starting to fade. And here it is basically fully dry. So in terms of what will last for the customer, the Lisianthus is going to last a really long time. So are the alliums. The straw flower will dry nicely. This vitex will dry nicely too. Remember, we took all the leaves off that. Grace, what was over there? I still don't know what was going on over there. There's just so many beautiful things in this arrangement, and I think really the vitex is what elevates the whole thing from a simple spiral to something that makes you want to say, what is that? What's that flower in the arrangement? I'm not sure what that is. I always love when I do a delivery and someone says that. And I just wanted to place the limelights near this arrangement because I know she's going to be using these together. I think she's going to pair the limelight with, I think, pokeweed, she said, and do those in big urns. So now I'm headed off. But I want to thank you so much for spending some time out here in the garden with me today. I am very hopeful that our garden walk and talks will resume this Saturday. I think what I'm going to do, because this is the microphone I'm wearing now, and I don't know, I'm still having some problems with it. I'm going to wear 2 different microphones, so no matter what, we should be able to have a garden walk and talk this Saturday. I want to wish you a wonderful day out there in your gardens, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye!